Fresh hops and pumpkins dominate the news this week, along with re-releases of a few beers, some new beers, and a few other interesting tidbits on this week's Maritime Beer Report. Hello and welcome to the September 25th edition of the Maritime Beer Report. Barnone Brewing notes that they have a special release of their Sub Stanchel Wet Hopped Harvest Ale. It's available now at the Old Triangle and Dublin pub in PEI. PEI Brewing Company says that its pumpkin ale is back. Now, pumpkin ale seems to be loved or hated, but several maritime breweries have theirs coming out this month and next. Big Axe Brewery was brewing some sweetness, making a special ale using rooftop honey from the food at the Crowne Downtown in Fredericton. They say look for the details on this one coming soon. Big Tide Brewing published that this year's fresh hopped ale selections include an Indian Beach Kölsch that's on tap right now, Indian Beach Pumpkin Ale, and Indian Beach Harvest Ale that are coming out soon. Celtic Knot Brewing announced that a Harvest Ale version of their Hopicide IPA will soon be available. This version is generously wet hopped with Cascade hops, thanks to Jeff Smith of Amherst, Nova Scotia. The oyster stout that was announced over the summer will be out very soon. Hammer River Brewing's Harvest Ale, brewed with fresh hops grown right at the brewery. It is a 7% ABV, 70 IBU beer, and is available now wherever Hammer River Brewing is served. Big Spruce Brewing released Craig Goes Yard, their annual Hop Harvest American IPA that is a 6.7% ABV. This beer uses hops harvested from their farm, and for you beer nerds, Jeremy says that a mid-boil Chinook, a late edition Nugget, followed by wet hopped edition of Goldie and Mount Hood in the hop back. They dry hopped it with Mandarina. Tasty notes on this beer are tropical passion fruit flavor with crisp wine-like aromatics. This beer truly speaks the unique terroir characteristics of the farm. Boxing Rock Brewing has re-released its Darkness Cascadian Dark Ale for a fall release. It will soon appear at your local NSLC stores. Garrison Brewing kicked off fall with the release of its Pumpkin Seasonal Double Jack Pumpkin Ale. It's an 8% ABV ale. That's one of my favorite pumpkin beers from last year because it's not really overly spiced. North Brewing launched their second Harvest Ale, Setting Sun. It is a wet hopped saison aged on sour cherries. Hops from the valley include Cascade, Willamette, and Chinook, and they aged the beer on valley-grown cherries from Sterling Fruit Farms. The result is a beautiful thing, the aroma that invokes ripe cherry orchard, notes of tart cherry followed by grapefruit bitterness, and rounded out with a peppery finish. Meander River Farms says their beer homegrown. Their once-a-year offering of a wet hop brew made entirely from hops grown on the farm is ready. The hops were picked fresh and brewed within 24 hours to create a very unique, smooth, extremely tasty golden beer with an exceptional hop character. The 4.2% ABV IPA is available at the brewery this weekend, along with the last bit of Summer Solstice IPA. Rock Bottom Brew Pub has a wet hopped APA on tap upstairs at your father's mustache. It is the regular Duster APA brewed with Nova Scotia grown Centennial hops, which are a bit less piney than their Yakima counterpart, with a bit of orange and tangerine undertones. At the Rock Bottom, in addition to their regulars, they have a traditional British brown ale, light semi-sweet malt body toasted with nut aromas and a mild toffee flavor, light hopped with earthy English varietals. Lastly, they have a Marzen that is a red German lager, the classic beer of Oktoberfest, a malty amber lager which is clean, rich, bready malt flavor, restrained bitterness, and a dry finish. Rutter's Brew Pub is having their 10th annual Brewers Dinner on October 2nd at 7 p.m. and reservations are required for that. It's a 4-course meal, each paired with a different Rutter's beer. Get details now on their Facebook page. Spindrift Brewing saw its beer launch at the NSLC this week. This was a bit earlier than expected, the date of September 28th, but it had a lot of buzz on social media. Their flagship beer is an amber lager that weighs in at 5% ABV and is simply called Coastal Lager. Tattagouche Brewing, as I mentioned last week, released their new IPA this week called Deception Bay IPA that is a 6.2% ABV beer. On Wednesday, Matt was brewing a rye and ginger ale with fresh ginger and orange peel. It smelled fantastic in the brew house, and you can look for this one in about 3 weeks or so. Uncle Leo's released a German alt beer this week at the brewery. Get the limited release while it lasts, and this is a 5.2% ABV beer. Unfiltered Brewing released its next beer today. Hop Riot India Red Ale is Nash's first single varietal fresh hopped beer made with 200 kilograms of Centennial. In their pursuit of trying to source as much as possible locally, they were very happy to find that Maritime Hop Growers Cooperative could provide all the hops that they needed for this batch. The hops were in the mash tun within 6 hours of harvesting, and they say that you can taste the fresh hoppiness and roasted malt. It's a 7.3% ABV beer. And lastly, Moncton Beer League is proud to bring you the first Atlantic Canadian Craft Beer Oktoberfest on Friday, October 9th at the Crowne Plaza in Moncton Downtown. And this one is in support of United Way of Greater Moncton and Southeastern New Brunswick. The event will be set up like a trade show, similar to a beer festival, but food stations will be interspersed between the craft beer stations. Regular session is from 7:30 until 10 p.m. and this allows unlimited beer samples in your custom take-home glass from June-line glassware. The VIP tickets get you a special glass along with an industry panel discussion and exclusive guided beer tasting in addition to the regular session. Regular session tickets are available for $58 plus fees, and VIP is $68 plus fees, and they're available right now on Eventbrite. Thanks for checking out the news again and for supporting your local craft brewers. And until next time, enjoy responsibly.